Can I charge my? Can I just put the link here?
Huh? Yeah, this should be fine. Just be careful that you grab the right one when you take it back.
I have to write down reminders on my hand so I can know, like.
I would smear them though.
Why does it get that sweaty? Like, I wash them after I do the color guard stuff, and then it's like a reminder to finish assignment for black. This is why I need to take it. And the world for me to finish.
It's really a long
Outside of the day.
You just get tired. Yeah.
Makes sense. Alarm I wouldn't want to lock on my watch. Say a thing, I totally would. Yeah.
What's up? Want the shirt, New Jersey? This cost me $50 whole. The gang is New Jersey. It says snare at the back. Oh, yeah. This is fake. Pretty cool. Yeah. Good morning, Kelvin. This is 24 for the year. Did we have any master physics homework? I don't think so. We had the one due Wednesday.
Yeah.
Madison, you came tonight? Should be good one. Senior night band.
There's a quiz today though, right?
What?
There's a quiz today though, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have no clue. I was a quiz calculus.
I just took the derivative.
Oh, you're
I'm into physics.
Plus dy, so it's exactly
We do?
Yeah, we
Oh, like
getting
forced.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Okay, but like,
Is that the?
Yeah.
it's just so weird, because I forget, like, shit, I forget.
I know, it's like those squares.
I should be really So, our point of trigonometric equations is the integral of the square root of
Okay, so
prime
it's
squared.
so it's all this.
The arc length normally is the integral of the square root of f plus f prime
What do you do from there? You don't have 1 minute.
The equation for impartial integration is the minus the integral of u prime t. The denominator of the integral factorable is a over 1 factor plus b over 1 factor.
Which one? I know what, like, thing.
26.
In geometric equations, it's y prime over x prime. And the second one is y prime over x prime all prime over x prime.
You can
That's it,
so
right?
that's the
I got this. New y.
then you can just do stuff for that.
New subs and
Do all our own stuff.
I forget my name.
So basically, to take the old one,
It's just where
you add, you do the slope times the,
that and that, and this is the.
well, the change of x is like the distance, and then the y prime is still the slope. So basically, you're on this point, you're finding the point with this.
Yeah, well, that's what that.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
If you look, break it down, it's like you're actually doing, it's pretty simple. Good morning.
That's just
Solid. This is a video with John L. Colbert. Ball game tonight.
Nice. Put it square.
The superintendent. Before every football game, he records video.
Why do you get a school named after it? That's so weird.
I think that was the original one.
That's actually one.
Is the old one? It wouldn't be the original one.
Did he get the school name back?
Colbert was Colbert Letter, Colbert one day one.
Oh, that was Mulford. Oh, it was Mulford?
I was gonna say, if he's current and then you got a school named after him.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that?
Are you excited for the exam today, Mr. Towson?
No, because I have to grade them.
That's true. As a teacher, is grading exams the most work, or is grading homework, or doing other stuff outside of that the most work?
All of it.
All of it?
All of it adds up.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day. After we talked about, I think it was Thompson kind of making fun of the teaching guy. He's like, oh, it seems so easy. And I was thinking about it, the amount of work, in terms of, you've got how many students? 125?
I'm hoping during this random advisory.
And each of them has a sheet probably every single day,
Yeah.
plus a test once a week or two. It's a lot.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff we have to do y'all don't know about. But.
12 last night.
All right, good morning, guys. There's 3 assignments I have not taken up to give you for grades, which I would like before you start your quiz. That would be 26, 27, and 28. So I would have collected some of those earlier, but with today's quiz, I'll let you hang on to them. So if you want full points for those, make sure your name's on them, find them in your binder, and come throw them in the basket, please.
I think I would rather.
Are you feeling better?
A little bit. Not all the way, though.
How long have you been sick?
Started feeling bad last Thursday. Yeah.
Is he one of your classes or?
All right, our quiz is no calculator.
No calculator?
Yep. All the questions within the phrase have no calculator.
That third page of number 16.
So do you calculate just your phone?
We shouldn't have that maybe that's third page of number 16. They're one of our 8 topics that we reviewed.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You gotta look for those last spot.
All right.
I'm walked.
Next time.
You didn't see it on the test day, that's Thursday. Shocker. I don't skip. I mean, I just get sick a lot on test days.
I got you.
Okay, so again, I picked out a bunch of questions that a calculator should not be needed or help. There's one question where you might think you need a calculator, but if you read the directions carefully, it just says set up the equation. Oh, my bad. I mentally gave you a piece of paper, right? This equation. Of course, some stuff is a little bit more important than others, and that's weighted based on the point values. So before each question, I put the number of points. Of course, if the question is worth more than a point, there is partial credit to be had, so make sure you're showing your work and making it as easy to read as possible. When all of the quizzes are in, we will look at just the start of assignment 30. Won't finish it or anything, but I'd like you to at least know what's coming up next and front load you a little bit of that information. So. Oh, also, I apologize, but this quiz is supposed to be number 29 in your binder. You can see I wrote 29. I wrote 29 in the top right, but it didn't copy it very well. So you might want to fill that in, since it usually takes about a week. I think soon. Yeah, that's what they said. Your quiz is not a million points, but remember that these points go in as major points, and you don't get as many major points. So it is certainly in your interest to try to double, triple check your work. Yeah, if you're not sure what something says because it didn't copy off great, please go ahead and ask. I'd rather you ask and be extra sure than to assume wrong.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
talking about the quiz.
Sorry, I thought we still had a quiz out, but I wasn't taking into account that Will's out absent today. So before we look at assignment 30 for just a few minutes, because I just want to start it, make sure you guys know that there's not RTI today. It is, you go to your normal advisory, they're calling it a catch-up day. I'm not really sure exactly why, but I think it might have something to do with the Chromebook readiness test for the PSAT. You have to do that Chromebook readiness check, and then some people might have been absent that day during advisory. So I was scanning the list of people here, and I think your advisor needs to say for sure, but I think the only person in here that hasn't done it is Calvin. So make sure that you get that information during advisory, because I don't even know how to do it. I have ninth grade advisory, and Dex and your sister needs to do it too. So you're in charge of that.
Before we start, I saw that my assignment 27 is a 0 out of 10, and I really thought I put it in the basket. Like
Okay.
in grade book.
Okay, the graded homework papers will be in that white box. So if it just didn't save, because I've been having internet issues, all I have to do is see it again. So anytime,
Nice.
yeah, it's easy things. Okay, so since our last quiz, we have spent 3 lessons on parametric equations. So what a parametric equation is, how to take its derivative, how to take its second derivative, and how to find arc lengths of those. Parametric will still kind of pop its head up in our next couple lessons, but I think you'll like the next one. The next couple are actually based around vector stuff. So you don't need to have a real super in-depth knowledge about what a vector is, for those of you that have not seen that in science courses. But there is a little bit you need to know about what a vector is. So a vector is, again, we're just doing a little bit of this, just enough to get a taste of what we're going to be doing next and make next class a little bit easier for you. All right, vectors are something that looks like this. Each vector has a length that we usually call magnitude and a specific direction. So they kind of look like line segments, except that we need to know where it starts and where it ends. So it has an initial point and a terminal point. Initial point's where it stops, terminal point's where it ends, and this arrow designates the direction, so we know which one is which. Now at first glance, this kind of looks like a ray back from geometry, but what's the difference between this and a ray?
The ray just keeps going.
Right, a ray goes on forever, whereas
Direction of magnitude.
this one, the arrow doesn't represent that it goes on forever, it's just representing direction. A lot of times when you're asked for magnitude, this is the notation. So if this was vector v, if I wanted to know the length of that, I would ask either in words by asking for its magnitude, or with these symbols. It looks like double absolute value symbols. Each vector can be broken down into a horizontal and a vertical component. So whatever your vector is, we can break that down into how much is it moving horizontally and how much is it moving vertically. And then you can see that creates a natural right triangle, which gives us, you know, some math that we can lean on. And when we talk about this component form, we do it with these little brackets. So we don't use parentheses because then it would look like we're talking about a point. I think in physics class, I think y'all might actually use something different, don't you? Do y'all use I's and J's and stuff?
Yeah.
You do. All right, but for calculus and math, usually we just use these pointed arrow things. So find the component form and magnitude of a vector that starts here and ends here. So sometimes you might want to make a quick little graph. Nothing too fancy. So the component form is I want to figure out how much has it moved horizontally. If it's moving to the right, it should be positive. If it's moving to the left, it should be negative. This one, since he's started here and going there, I'll make the arrow a little bit bigger. He's moving to the right 4. So his horizontal component is positive 4. And then the vertical component, if he started off at a y value of 2 and ended up at a y value of 4, he's going up 2. Now if he was going down, we would make the vertical component negative. Since it's positive, that implies it's going up. So I know where he starts and I know how he's moving. He's going right 4 to go up 2. Now if I want to know the length of this vector, how do you think we could go about that? Very good. If you've got this component form, you've already thought about the length of this right triangle and the length of that leg of the right triangle. So you can just do Pythagorean theorem. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So to find the magnitude, the math behind it ends up just being Pythagorean theorem. Also, y'all might be the first group, but we used to do about 2 weeks of vectors in pre-calculus just to cover some of this basics. But we kind of stopped doing that because you didn't need this for AB, and we've got time in BC to talk about it anyway. So, okay, so that's just some basic with vectors as we go along there. Now, of course, calculus, we're either interested in integrating or differentiating. So if you want to differentiate a vector that's in component form. Now, one thing you may notice is that, like this magnitude, a lot of times we like to talk about vectors, vector v. I try not to use vector v too much because I don't want you to think I'm talking about velocity. They're two different things. V is just a common name for those. So if we had vector r, if you wanted to know the derivative of r, how would you guess you would have to do that? Okay, that is not correct. So you would just take the derivative of the horizontal component, gives you the derivative of the horizontal component, and you get to take the derivative of the vertical component to get the derivative of the vertical component. Super easy. And what I thought you would have guessed, but y'all are bad guessers, so. Alright, so some properties of these. It's stuff that we use all the time. If you want to take the derivative of a constant times a function, you can take the derivative of the function and just multiply by the constant. We do that all the time with derivatives. If you want the derivative of 1/3 pi r squared, you're going to leave the 1/3 pi alone and just take the derivative of r squared and leave the 1/3 pi out front. If you want to take the derivative of a vector plus or minus another vector, you can just take the derivative of each vector and then add them or subtract them. So to add or subtract factors just means you add the horizontal components to get your new horizontal component and subtract your horizontal components to get your horizontal component. If you want to multiply the derivative of two vectors, you've got to do this, which is just product rule. And what about this one? Which rule is this referring to? Okay. You've got a function plugged into another function. You take the derivative of the outer function with the inner function plugged in times the derivative of the inner function times chain rule. So this is just saying all the same normal derivative stuff that you guys are familiar with, but all of this is going to hold up with vectors. So let's look at just a couple of examples here and have you practice maybe 2 questions and we'll call it quits. Alright, if this is r, so I've got a horizontal component, this is how he moves over time, left and right, and a vertical component, this is how he moves up and down according to time. I know this is a vector and not a point because of these little arrows. And if I want to take the derivative of r, I'm just going to take the derivative of the horizontal component with respect to t to get my horizontal component, and the derivative of the vertical component to get my vertical component. Yeah.
This quotient will also work.
I'm sorry?
This quotient will also work.
No, because your answer should be a vector here. If you did quotient rule, you wouldn't get a vector.
Oh, for like up there. For like if they're divided.
Oh, that's a good question. I have to think about that. I can't think of any applications where you ever divide vectors, and that might be why we don't have to talk about that, but I'll have to think about it. Okay, so if I want the derivative of r of 2 theta, or 2t, sorry, I could find the derivative of r, just do the components separately. You should like that part because that's about as easy as it gets. But then you could realize, wait, I want the derivative of 2t, so everywhere there's a t, I'll just plug in 2t. I can't plug in 2t if it's just a 2. And then that is almost correct. See if you can figure out what I glanced over.
T.
Okay, but I did plug into T here.
You have to plug it into the function.
You could. That shouldn't matter. The answer,
Chain rule for 2T.
right, is right here. You're not inputting T that has a derivative of 1. You're inputting 2T. So there's an inside function there. So you have to multiply by 2 to get your answer. So 24T squared 4. Make sure you write something in your notes that adds chain rule to it, because I don't want you to not have that down correct. All right, and then last example. Path of a particle is moving along a path in an xy plane as described by this vector function. T squared comma sine t. Find the slope of the path of the particle at t equals 3 pi over 4. Okay, well in calculus when it says find the slope, what is it generally asking for? Okay, so we want the derivative, and we specifically just care about the derivative when t is 3 pi over 4. So how do we go about finding the derivative of a parametric equation? I know this is parametric because we're talking about xy plane, but we've also got a third variable t. You should have done this on today's quiz.
Derivative of y over derivative of x.
And both of those with respect to t. And then if we take that derivative and then plug in 3 pi over 4 for t, we get cosine of 3 pi over 4. That's a unit circle question. You get square root of 2 divided by 3 pi over 2. Dividing fractions is the same as multiplying by reciprocals, so something like that. So if it's a parametric equation, 3 variables, x, y, and t, you still need to find the derivative the same way. Derivative of y with respect to t divided by the derivative of x with respect to t. And if I wanted the second derivative, you would need to use that formula from today's as well. Okay, so finish copying that one down, and I would like you to try, I don't know, why don't you just try the first 3. I'll share the first 3 answers with you, and if you can get those 3 correct, then that would be a good stopping place for today.
Just give the problem and then do that.
Exactly.
Okay, there's the answers to the first 3 to make sure you're on the right track. Obviously, we'll talk about this again for a moment on Monday, and then I'll give you time to finish up the rest of it on Monday also. But you need to try to apply the things I showed you on the other page to get it to sink in a little bit.
gonna go run?
Not selling weed. I mean,
Your son?
what? I mean, not selling. I mean,
Buying.
Actually, the performance of the honor society was pretty good.
You liked it? That's what I'm looking for. I just want to do something that brings smiles to people's faces.
Oh, yeah. I was laughing. It was good. And then the lightsaber fight was pretty cool.
Yeah.
oh, dude, I like the jump.
Yeah?
That was like, the crowd was like, oh. This is like choreographed.
Because he actually fully saw.
I know, it's fully swung.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if he didn't jump enough. He
Just
just took out the legs and then.
I walked in, I didn't notice you. I saw Bruce sitting there. Didn't see you. I don't know how I didn't notice you. I was sitting there for 10 seconds talking to Bridge. Must have I looked over.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Jackson sitting under a
I
cloak.
remember, yeah. No. I remember it.
Wait, this. Did you say you revealed your face? I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wait,
you didn't like
you never
take it
took
off.
the hood off.
Not during the act. When I came
You
back.
sing
I had
after.
to walk
You
out.
sing after.
Yeah, couldn't tell it was you.
Yeah. They didn't know. They didn't know.
I thought it was so funny. Everybody
Before
walked
you, like,
behind you,
readjusted
smiles
it.
and giggles, and you were.
Wait, that's you. That's you.
Yeah.
They were-
We were all laughing.
How'd you stay locked in?
You were just.
How'd you stay locked in?
I don't. I mean, it's practice. You know.
You guys practice for that?
Apple pie. I practiced one time.
I did find it in the box. There's just no writing on it.
Oh, they must have gone sent to something else.
I guess.
Would be.
Just try to like copy his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it mimicked better before I went up there,
I was
but then I
working.
lost
It's
it.
like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I just got on.
Then you're just gonna, like,
I'm
So I
not
just
testing
started
it
my
out.
best.
Sounds like an old weak.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry about that.
Wait,
Thank
it was
you. It's
right? That's
Palpatine, yeah.
Thank you for fixing it.
Of course. My fault.
Is that a scene in the movie?
Yeah.
It is, where he like walks
Oh,
down?
I don't think
I
I
just give a
want the
speech.
though.
He gives a speech. To who?
To the masses.
Oh, the Empire.
Either the New Order or the Empire. I can't remember.
Empire Strikes Back.
That would be the Empire.
Revenge of the Sith.
If it's the first 7, it's the Empire. The last, it's the newer ones. It's the New Order. Or isn't there a First Order as well? I don't know. They've had so many names.
I don't know.
That's what I think. It's confusing.
Why does he give a speech to motivate or what?
The evil side, the Sith. That's better.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, it is.
The host sign of pi over 3 is 1 half.
Third person.
That was the best part. Yeah, I was thinking that.
What would be sine pi?
You don't need that.
No, I'm just wondering.
What would be? It would be square root of 2. But yeah, so that's what you're thinking too? Yeah. Great minds think alike.
Just gonna leave it at that.
Great minds think, well, I could say the other part where it needs seldom differ. The full quote, great minds think alike, but it is seldom differ. Seldom differ. Basically, it's saying like, you can't tell the it's apart either.
You're not saying everyone thinks alike.
Did he speak to the Senate or what did he speak?
Which is what we had said.
What was the vote that we decided?
Has everybody gotten the solutions they needed off the board? You've at least copied them down if you're still working on them. Okay, I'll switch it over to the puzzle. Alright, today's puzzle is going to be quiz question number 3.
What?
Today's puzzle's quiz question number 3. Back you. What? How many boxes are there? How many boxes are there?
It's a 3.
That's the question.
No.
It's 9 plus 27, or just 9.
boxes do we miss?
36.
I don't know the answer yet, so don't start asking.
137. Yo, let's just keep talking.
It's 36 plus 36 plus 12 is 48 plus 3 is 51. Calvin, did you get 51?
Yeah.
I got 51.
Yeah, 51.
Yeah.
You guys used to calculate?
Whoa.
Well, when you get to the big numbers, that's when you need a calc.
No, you don't need to calculate.
Wait, what's calc?
36 plus
Calc?
It's just like
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I use slang a lot. That means calculating.
What is calc is slang for calc?
Oh, you must have just joined.
Anywhere from
The
31 to
you must have just
51.
joined the
What
chat.
is
It means
calculating?
calculator. I'm just using
Oh,
slang.
I didn't know calculating.
What's
Yeah.
5,000 times 2?
Well, you need a calc for that. When you get to the bigger numbers, you'll need calculus, right?
It's 10,000.
Townsend, they're referencing a dumb video. They're not serious.
What video is that?
Are they trying to
You need to add
are they trying to trip this up?
The answer to this is not 51. That's what y'all are saying. It's not 51.
It's not 51.
It's not 51.
It is 51.
It's hollow on the inside.
All I'm
guys.
saying is it's not 51. I'm not.
Anywhere from 31 to 51, I think.
I got my bigger spots in the middle.
Unless the center's
Oh.
true, but
You
Why is
only,
not- why is it
you
not
only know that
51?
there's enough to collect each one of those, so there could just not
boxes
be
are
boxes.
1180.
Well, basically, like the boxes in the middle, it could.
Shouldn't you know there's some boxes though? Because how are they stacking if?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't know.
exactly.
Yeah, the boxes are levitating.
Well,
So you
no,
only
the
know that
sides
there's,
would be-
the bottom layer,
They mean like the
the
top,
back
like you
layer,
can skim off
and
the
the side
middle
layer.
row on the top.
You don't need
but
anything
still have
else.
the same
So
back
there's
piece.
at least 35 boxes.
I got 63 now.
Oh yeah.
Like you could cut off. You could cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What is
You
the
could cut off
answer?
8 blocks and it would still.
The answer is something between 0 and 30 million.
I was thinking-
Wow, crazy.
Between 0 and 30 million.
0 and 30.
You can do it with 30
Yeah.
80 boxes.
That's like 35 to
What are
51.
infinitesimally
Like
small
35 to
boxes?
51 boxes.
really thought it was for
And you can't tell more than that with just this view.
So then what's the answer?
none of them are boxes.
Something between 0 and 20 million.
0 and 29.
What if they're all squares?
Yeah, technically.
Alright, is this the next one again?
Remove 12 boxes
Brazen.
and still have it look the same.
That's only one side.
Because then there's like infinite boxes.
Infinite boxes. What are you talking about?
Well, if you break
This
this
is
down.
chessboard.
Boxes and sizes.
It's a chessboard again, I'm not doing that math. It's not infinite,
Wait.
there is a lot.
No, this is just boxes.
It would still, the minimum would still be the boxes are stacked on top of like bigger boxes, so it's actually fewer there. The way that they're stacked is the minimum would still be the same.
No, but if it's.
You can assume the boxes are all the same size.
What is about chessboard?
Those are squares.
Theoretically, it could just be one box. I mean, if they're all connected to each other, it could just be one big box.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could just be the tape lines.
Think about that. Those are squares, not boxes. So the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now I did get 51.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, but the answer's not 51. That's the only hint I'm giving you.
It's
It's okay, well then what's the answer?
It's 35, he hasn't denied it yet.
is it 35?
If you include the large.
I'm not giving you any more hints. Y'all just guess your way to the
Yes or
answer.
no? 35, yes or no?
3, 4.
Yeah, that's what y'all end up doing.
Yeah, except it's not a guess, it's 35.
It's 35 to 51.
38.
We have a logical reason to say 35, so you should tell us
Yeah,
right or wrong.
actually,
We're not guessing.
And if it's the chessboard, then it's up to 61.
Nope.
It would look the same.
If it's chessboard.
Well, you're still not denying 35. Deny it or confirm it. It's not a guess.
35 is not correct.
Okay.
It is a.
It's above 35, 39 is the minimum.
No, 35 is
Oh.
3 times 7 for the bottom view, and then you need,
just the edges.
the side,
the back. Stupid.
to get the sidewall to achieve
No,
that
but if there
wall.
was two stuff in the middle, then it would be
Just
something.
gonna say it.
No,
Yeah,
so he
it's
can't
not
figure it out, so he's raging.
Oh, wait, you just need the walls, you need, the entire bottom layer, plus the 2 layers to make the sidewall look like that, so that's 7 times 3 plus 6 plus 4, which is 31.
That's true. You could
And
do
then
that.
you need 4 more to make that
Oh,
one.
you just did
And if it's chessboard, then it's then it's up to 67. Wait, like 4 boxes?
For the record, I did hear someone say the right answer. I just think. No, not you, not you.
What if the box one by one?
I don't know. I don't remember what you said.
I don't think so. I don't think it was read.
No, quit guessing.
Question, do the boxes have to be cubes?
Have to be cubes?
Yes.
I believe so. I think it's assumed they're all standard
Okay,
boxes.
then,
It's not like some twist of something that like you could never think of.
There's at least 35. There's 35 51 boxes. You can't fit more than 50
Oh!
boxes in an isometric view, can you?
It's 61.
It's not 61.
Is it not like 30?
Why don't, instead of just throwing out numbers, why don't y'all say like why you think it's 61 so someone could be like, oh no, it can't be that because of this.
Anthony said it's
you can do it in
61.
23.
No, I did. Yeah, you did. No, I thought I said I went from 53 to 63 to 51. Oh, okay.
It's 63.
No, that's just
Mr.
because I
Thompson,
counted
if you know
wrong.
the answer, why don't you enlighten us?
Did I just say 8?
Okay, so just pick a number.
Explain
36.
All right, let's say the answer was 36. Okay, it's 36. Now what?
Well, can you explain to us how it works?
Can I explain? You count the boxes.
You can do it in 10 if they're larger than 1 by 1.
No, you should assume they're cubes. That's
No, I'm assuming cubes. I'm assuming cubes are larger than the 1 by 1.
48. Because that's how many squares there are visible.
But
That's cubes.
Okay.
Squares that are visible.
What if
48.
it's 3 different trucks?
I counted
If
47.
it's a 3 by 3 box,
I
then
mean, there are
it's
48 boxes
3 by
on
3
the
and
Okay.
you do 2 by 2 and then 1 by
That
1.
would be terrible.
17 plus 20,
48.
Multiply that by
47.
The question is the count.
47 boxes. That's how many squares visible.
If it was 51, if it was
Squares can be part of the box.
and then you got
Like,
the top view.
So you're saying
48 is count word
Top
box.
and back view are the way they are.
Well,
30
it would
boxes.
be, okay, there would be 6.
Final answer 47.
There is 1 box car.
48. Final answer 1
minimum.
Final
Greg
answer.
Ganson. No.
Give us
And 67 is another
7
minimum.
plus 8.
Yeah. Whoever denies the answer.
35.
Okay, I'll give you a much bigger hint.
Okay.
It's something between 0 and 10 million boxes.
Wow.
Much better.
That's 20 million less than I gave you last hint.
51 minus 6.
That's a lot better.
good hit.
Why don't you narrow it down?
What is a box?
0.
Define box. Yeah.
What is a
I think it
box?
was 47.
I gotta be more better.
How many? 25? Not 25.
I don't believe.
So we know there's not negative boxes.
We know that's not him. Biggest box like refrigerator.
What are we using for this information? We know there's no negative boxes. So what are we using?
Negative box. Crazy.
You can have negative boxes if you owe people boxes.
One answer is 60.
I see the boxes. They're falling off.
All of the boxes.
See, if y'all would just work together when people make educated guesses, y'all would have figured it out. Because one person said it. Yeah, you will know the answer if I tell you the answer. That's true.
Confirm or deny me.
You will also get the answer quickly if I just, hey,
I'm not even looking. I'm not
You date to confirm the answer that is correct. Because somebody's got to have had it.
I got it. Yeah, did you see what it was?
I saw it, but I can't remember it.
You forgot.
Wait, it doesn't say how many boxes we can see.
Like one of those?
Yeah.
How many boxes are there ever?
Infinite boxes.
Whether you see the box, it's there or not.
It doesn't say that there. It doesn't say how many boxes we can see. How many boxes are
Yes.
in the universe?
What if
Infinite boxes.
and there's no
The
box?
answer is infinity. So
You can literally count the boxes to get the answer.
we
We did.
I did. It was 47.
It's also 35.
And you didn't say it. It was
It's also 35.
47's not correct.
Wait, I actually know what to do.
I feel like it's
Anywhere between
Tell-
35
wait.
and
like it's
51.
35 to 50.
And maybe infinity or 0.
Also maybe 16.
Also maybe 17.
Maybe 0, maybe infinity.
These would be highest.
No, it's not anywhere from 0 to infinity.
Yeah. So
Apparently it could be 61.
These are all
although I'm
three.
not
Okay, I will tell you in 60 seconds.
It's all one half.
60 seconds.
31 to 51.
It's 35 to 51.
I also, at the bell, there'll be a post on Google Classroom for the answer and the solution if you want to know why.
Also making 0.8. There's also 0.8 boxes.
It's like the chessboard.
Yeah.
I didn't like that chessboard.
You add up the squares. They're all right in front of you.
Anywhere from
21.
0.8
It's
to
21.
infinity.
31 to 51.
It actually is. It actually is 21.
You're funny.
21.
Anywhere from 0.8 to infinity.
Why 0.8?
Okay, it's been 60 seconds.
Bet my life.
Is it 21?
How do you know I was going
You
to say?
counted to
Okay, the answer is
21.
I said it.
I will stay behind in class. I will be late to advisory.
Is it 0.8?
don't attack me, there'll be no more puppets. The answer is 31 to 51.
Oh, so Lane was right.
30.
Wait, 31.
There's a range.
Which we said
How do
multiple
you get
times.
31?
You said once very early and ditched, and nobody else picked up on
I
it.
did not ditch the range. I kept saying 31, 35, 50.
No.
31 to 51.
Okay, go.
You can remember.